So you've clicked on this video because you want to know whether you've messed up your talents and you want to know how you should be spending these valuable stars to ensure you're optimizing your account correctly. Or you're in luck because in this video I'll be going to the full details of which tactic skill you should be prioritizing, which stat node you should be leveling for each class, and how you can start farming these materials efficiently. Be sure to watch the video to the end as I'll be revealing the importance to why you should be spending your talent points carefully. Let's begin with the tactic skills. Now, if you were like me and started playing this game on day 1, you probably didn't know which tactic skill was actually good or useful. That's okay because I'll be giving you the 3 main tactic skills you should be learning first and why they should be taking priority over the others. There are 3 slots which you gain access to as you play the game. For each slot, there's a set of tactic skills you can pick from. Let's call them Group 1, Group 2 and Group 3. Now for Group 1, you should 99% always be picking urgent order over the others. This is probably the most valuable of the 3. To be honest, I actually never see the need to replace this to clear all the content in the game so far. Why is this skill so good? Well, if we take a look at what the skill does, it reads, increases the target's speed by 200 and restoring 1 energy for 1 turn. At level 2, you get 300 speed, and at max level, you get 300 speed and 2 energy. Basically, you'll be able to control whose turn will be next after you use the skill and give them energy. This is essential for the weapon trial stages, which I've covered in my other videos on how to clear these with 3 stars. You can check out these videos and I'll leave them in the description box down below. The reason why this is essential on these weapon trial boss stages is because you need to use this on your healers and ensure that your team does not get wiped from the boss's attack. If you haven't really got a Nana, you're probably going to be using Angel or the KA Light Conjurer. They pretty much have no speed, which means they always act after the boss's turn. Now for Group 2, there's no contest on this one and you should always be using Warhorn. Here's what the skill reads. It increases the damage taken by 60% and inflict focus target on the central target for 1 turn. The focus target reduces defense by 20%. At level 2, your block reaction skill, which really doesn't make a difference in PvE. At max level, this will increase to 80%, which is a massive boost. And this skill is really hard to replace because of the damage boost it will give to your team, especially in boss stages where every damage is vital to clearing the stage within X number of rounds to get that 3 stars. But even in the Fool's Journey or Tower stages, it really makes a difference when you need to nuke down the enemy quickly. Now moving on to Group 3, there are actually 2 skills you can pick from. I'll give you the one that I went for first, which is Ragnarok. This is basically an AoE piercing damage, and you can see that it deals piercing damage to all enemies within 4 tiles around the target. As you level this up, the damage will increase, and at level 3, it will also deal additional damage based on the enemy's max HP. At max level, it will stun the target you selected, which is pretty useful in PvP clash battles and tower stages. I went for this skill because it's just useful all-round skill for most content in this game. It's pretty useful to use in clash battles as well, as most of the time the enemies are all grouped together. The other skill you could consider is Sword Of Convallaria. This skill will allow you to place a flag that increases all allies' attack and defense by 10%, gain energy and reduce their cooldown by 1 at the start of each turn. As you level this up, you can increase the attack and defense gain by 15% and at max level 20%. The reason I would say to consider this is because I never actually needed to use this skill for clearing the weapon trial stage 10. I've seen other people use this to clear the weapon trial stage 11, which is where it does become pretty useful, but that'll be when you sort of reach end game. If you're already there now, then of course use this to clear the weapon trial stage 11 challenges, but if you just start playing the game, I think Ragnarok would be more useful for other content of the game. Moving on to the stat node for each role. And the game will naturally force you to start leveling all the roles to complete the Voyage Memento. Once you've completed these and received your rewards, you'll see a lot of locked nodes, which requires the final tier star resource to unlock. This is where we need to now be careful, because simply throwing these to any stats will slow down your account progression, but there are some stats that will provide more benefit than others. For example, you wouldn't need a defender to increase their magic attack, as the main purpose is to survive or keep your team from getting hit. Leveling physical defense and magic defense and HP would be the obvious choices. You may be asking, well that's obvious, but I have a limited amount of stars, but which stat node do I need to prioritize first? The answer is quite simple. You want to first see on your own account which stages you are struggling. For most people, it will be either the weapon trial stages or the tarot residual stages. Now we take the example to clear the weapon trial stage first. There are usually 2 things that are holding you back. The first thing is you don't understand the strategy to clearing the boss. The second thing is you have the strategy, but your character is lacking defense or power. And to overcome point 1, you can watch my previous videos on where I go through the exact strategy on clearing all weapon stages and tarot residual stages with 3 stars. For point 2, this can either be resolved with your gear or talents. If we start off with the defender's role, I recommend you prioritize on leveling physical defense and HP first, then magic defense. The reason is because you want to ensure that your defender is able to withstand the trial 2 boss stages, as the boss deals physical damage and you want to be clearing this with 3 stars first, so you can start farming the Well Hunter bow, which will help you easily clear weapon trial 1, and also farm the voice stab dagger to clear weapon trial 3. Once you have the defenders built to tank all 3 bosses, you can then start saving these resources for the other classes. Next, you should be focusing on leveling Watcher's path. The reason why is because the second most important role is the healers, which are all classed as Watcher in this game. You want to level up magic attack, magic defense, physical defense and HP. Basically, magic attack will improve the healing output, and you'll need to ensure that you have enough defense and HP so you don't get one shot by the boss. If you'll be using characters such as Gloria, Lilywheel and Outlaw Crossbowman to clear the boss stages, you'll want to then decide on improving their physical attack, which you will always want to be prioritized the percentage stat first, then the flat stats. Now, once you have got both your defender and watcher's path built, you're down to decide on leveling the paths depending on your team setups. The key points to remember is selecting the stat that benefits the role that the character will be playing first, then choosing the percentage stats before the flat stats. Another note to remember is to make sure you level up your max TP just enough so that you can use your tactic skills on rotation. Now that we've gone through the priority on which stats to level up first, I want to quickly touch on these universal nodes. You can see that for each role there are these universal nodes with this rainbow symbol. This will boost the stat for all character roles, and you'll notice that the stat differs depending on the path you are leveling. Just to mention that you won't necessarily need to level these to clear the weapon trial stages 10, as it does get really expensive before you finally reach these nodes to unlock. But when you do finally reach there, I'll probably go and level the physical attack or magic attack depending on your strongest carry, as this will only further increase your overall team's power, which means easier and quicker stage clears. Moving on to farming these star resources. Now, there are only really two ways you can get these star resources. One is from the star trials, and two from the events and shops. If you put in a realistic scenario on how much stamina you actually can spend in a day, let's say 150 stamina after 10 hours when you first log in, you refresh your stamina once for 60 Luxite, that's plus 120 stamina, then you receive the 2 daily stamina, which is 60 stamina each. That gives you a total of 390 staminas per day. Now, if you decide to only farm the star trial stages, this will consume 40 staminas per run, so 390 divided by 40 gives you about 9 to 10 runs per day. That's great, but I wouldn't recommend this approach as you will limit other crucial progressions on your account. Here's how it would look like to optimize your account. You obviously need to prioritize your memory shards once per day, which will cost 40 stamina, weapon trials, which is another 40 stamina, arrow residuals, another 40, then the radiant and level up stages, which is another 50 stamina. That means you've used 170 staminas, giving you 220 remaining. So realistically, you would be running this about 5 times per day if you exclude any events. And you can also trade in insignias from the shop for these, which will be monthly until the next refresh. But there are also events which, depending on when you are watching this video, we have this amazing event which is the Voyage of Discovery. This will allow you to trade in event currencies for 99 selected stars. This is probably one of the best events we have so far, as there are other resources you can also pick up along the way. Now, this will be a slow grind, but if you continue to do your dailies and take advantage of any new events that comes by, you will eventually start maxing out your talents. But for the best optimal progression, follow the advice I've given and you'll start seeing your account grow stronger. Do give me a like if you found something useful here today, and let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the advice given in this video, or share some of your own tips for leveling the talents. I do read all your comments and look forward to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to subscribe for more Sword of Convallaria videos, and if you haven't already cleared the weapon trial and terror stages, you should watch this next.